Hello and welcome to Climbing Daily and welcome to the Gear Show. Now we're here in the stunningly beautiful Czech Republic. We're invited along by Singing Rock, represented by Jan here. And we're doing some climbing, doing some factory stuff. But because this is the Gear Show, I thought it'd be quite a good time to sort of get a really geeky look at Quickdraws, because it's something that every climber uses pretty much every time they climb. Yeah. But personally, and I'm sure there's a few people the same, I'm not entirely sure how they work. So if you want a very geeky gear show full of technicalities, that's a scientific word, then this is the show for you. If not, I'll see you in a bit. So Jan, thank you for having us here. Just explain a little bit about your job at Singing Rock. What do you do?
I'm a marketing manager, so I'm responsible for all marketing at Singing Rock. So all the marketing activities regarding the advertisements, trade shows.
So I want to get a bit geeky about Quickdraws. And what I want to understand first of all is a kilonewton. Okay. Now I know that all Quickdraws are rated in kilonewtons to a certain strength, but what is a kilonewton compared to normal weight measurements?
Well, technically kilonewton is a physical volume, let's say, that is like 1 kilonewton, let's say, is 100 kilos pulled by the gravity. Okay. So if we imagine 10 kilonewtons, it's 1,000 kilos, more or less.
And directly pulling, not a dynamic?
Yeah, it's a direct pull.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we are talking about the carabiners, there is obviously some standard which all the Quickdraws and carabiners has to fulfill. And there is a minimum requirement for the strength, which is written in the kilonewtons. But we always try to do this, the quality of the Quickdraw of the carabiner above the standard. So for example, for the major axis, for the major pull, the standard is 22 kilonewtons and our cold Quickdraw has 26 kilonewtons.
Okay, so that's quite a bit above the standard.
Above the standard.
So for example, if I suddenly decided to make a carabiner tomorrow and I just bent some metal in, I'd have there's a European and a worldwide standard for how strong that carabiner has. Yeah. But you just go everyone goes a bit above it.
Every producer tries to go above. But of course, you can do really strong carabiner from steel, for example, but it's too heavy, right? So you don't want to carry all the rack of the carabiners of the Quickdraws when you do multi-pitch. So what's the goal? To do as light as possible Quickdraw, but to have really high strength, so as higher as possible. So what we did at Singing Rock, that we rated this cold series, cold model, and it doesn't matter if it's like a full cold or also with a wire gate. And the, let's say, unique feature is that it has the 11 kilonewtons in an open gate rate. Okay,
so let's step back a bit, because there is a difference in weight. So once the gate is, so when it's shut, it's stronger than if it's open. Why is that, first of all?
Because in general, the Quickdraw, the strongest part of the Quickdraw is obviously this part, which is because you can imagine this is a piece of metal just bended on two sides and connected with the gate. And obviously the gate is the weakest point of the carabiner. Yeah. So if it's loaded in the direct position, so then it's pulling down like this way, this is strongest. Okay. But it might happen that in a bolt or while you are climbing, the carabiner can twist, and then you have pulling in this direction, which is actually pulling, you can imagine that there is a bolt, and it's pulling on the gate. Okay. And this is weaker. So this is also standard for that, which is the minimum requirement is 6 or 7 kilonewtons, we have 8. And it can happen even then during a climbing, the carabiner can open, with the gate can be opened, and this is really the weakest point of the biner because you don't have this part connected. And usually it's like 6-7 kilonewtons only, and we managed 11 kilonewtons.
What's the standard for open gate strength?
If I'm not wrong, I think it's about 8 kilonewtons.
Okay, so yours is again significantly above that. So we want a Quickdraw to be loaded downwards. If its gate is open, it's significantly weaker. So presumably when you're clipping the bolt into the wall, you just want to be careful that that gate is facing away from the wall so it has no chance of pressing in. Yeah. And we want to avoid, as you were saying, this cross-loading thing where it's sideways and we're pulling that way rather than that way.
In case of fall, that the carabiner, the upper carabiner would stay in the bolt like that.
Yeah.
In case of fall, the load is forced in this way, and then it's really bad.
So something, and this is a difficult question to ask, but let's say you're climbing and you look down and you see that your carabiner is cross-loaded. Is this a situation where you should bail out of the climb straight away, or should it be strong enough to hold a fall?
Well, it should be strong enough to hold a fall, because in real conditions, well, normally the carabiner, either if it's like cross-loaded like that, shouldn't break. The case, and it happens, that the carabiners get broken, is, as I said, it's usually that the gate is opened for some reason, that either this part of the carabiner is damaged or is worn out, or that can be a little rock, pulling into the gate. And this is a really bad point, that it might happen that the carabiner can break, or that the carabiner is, like facing like that on the rock.
Yeah, I've seen that. So when it's on the top,
yeah.
Okay.
This is the same reason. So when you are climbing and you realize that your biner is in this position, you are okay. You should be aware. Try to maybe pull with the rope that the biner, falls down. That's why in the Quickdraws, you have this rubber thing on the lower part of the biner, on the banded carabiner, not in the upper part, which is clipped into the bolt.
Okay, so I've always been told when I first started climbing, it was rubber rope. That's what I was told. So if there's rubber, that's where you clip the rope into it. Yeah. And again, it's one of those things you kind of go, okay, cool, but you never really question it. So tell me, explain, why rubber rope?
That's the thing, because you can have it in a bolt, you clip the rope inside, and when you are climbing, you can see that the quick draw sling is moving into the carabiner. If it's fixed here, then the wall carabiner will be moving. Wall quick draw in the bolt, and then it can happen that the wall carabiner can get into the cross-loading position. While this lower part with the bent gate where you put the rope, it's better that the rope doesn't come over the gate, which might happen also that if in case of fall, the rope can come out of the quick draw.
So the rubber just holds it in position, so that doesn't move around, but you want the one in the wall to move around a little bit, because if it was solid, and it pulled, then it would.
The wall quick draw would be cross-loaded.
That makes sense. That's cool. Okay. And then the second thing I wanted to go over, because we've got, so this is the Colt model of your quick draws, and we've got two. We've got this one with a solid gate, and we've got the wire gate.
Yeah.
Just looking at it, presumably this one is a bit heavier, but why would you pick a solid gate or a wire gate over each other? What's the advantages of them?
Yeah, well, first of all, both models, either wire or the full gate, has the same strength, so which is a good advantage. But second of all, it's the matter of the use. Like with the full gate, carabiner is basically used for the sport climbing, sport cracks, where you don't really care about the weight. With the wire gate, it's lighter, so you probably use it more for thread climbing or multi-pitch climbing. But the biggest advantage of the wire gate is that in winter conditions, it doesn't freeze up, so you can still open the gate in winter conditions for ice climbing. But also, secondly, if you take the full gate biner, and in case of fall and the carabiner would hit the rock, there's still little possibility that the gate opens up a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
While wire gate, if it hits the rock, the possibility is lower, way lower, because of the weight of the gate.
So there's a chance, and it's very, very small, I know.
It is small, yeah.
That if it hits that, there's a moment where as it hit it, it's going to open a fraction and the rope has a possibility of coming out. Exactly. But with the wire gate, that possibility is gone.
It's even less.
Okay, so in that case, why would I not always buy a wire gate? Why would I buy a solid gate? Is it the feel of it? Because I do like pressing into a solid gate.
And in our models, actually, our wire gates don't have the key lock, which is also comfortable, for clipping, unclipping from the harness and clipping the bolts. So in our case, this is disadvantage of the wire gate, but preferably, personally, I climb with this model, with the mix biners. That is a full gate on the top, which is easier to unclip and clip, and the wire gate because of that safety reason.
Yeah. See, it's funny because if I'm sport climbing, I like a solid gate, and I don't know why. I tell you what it is, and this is pathetic, but it's true, is I like the sound. I like the big wire gate clunk when you put it in, and you're like, yes, okay, let's move on. Yeah. Whereas it sounds a little bit less on that.
Yeah.
Comment below if you also are weird like me. But yeah, I guess it comes down to a bit of personal preference as well, doesn't it? Cool, well I think that's kind of sorted. And then with your Colt model, you've got a nice big dog bone
perfect
to hold
grab.
onto and pull
When you're a
onto and
pump
all
up,
that.
you can grab the quick draw and rest.
Yeah, cool. Okay, well, I tell you what, if anyone else has got any questions about quick draws or loading forces that I haven't answered, comment below and we'll try to pass them on to Jan.
Oh, yeah,
and he can answer them for you. Jan, thank you for your time.
Yep, you're welcome.
We're going to head round the corner now and do something else for the next gear show, a bit different. So, yeah, look forward to that. Thank you very much, Jan. See you guys soon.